Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Nerdarchist Dave.
Nathan Nerdark.
And today we're talking about Hooked on Adventures, Dragon Dusting.
Jump down the description below where you can find Nerdarchy, the newsletter, game weekly tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So we brought up this topic of dragon dusting off camera, and we're like, oh, we should do a video on this.
Is that code for doing lines of cocaine?
No. We took this dragon off the shelf. It needed a little dusting, and then bam.
Dragon dusting.
So it was born.
So I have several ideas for this, but go ahead. What do you guys?
Well, my RPG brain is like, well, dragon dusting, what if it is actually, either some kind of magical drug that is literally made up of ground up dragon scales? Or is it just some kind of arcane component necessary for magic item creation?
Okay, so for me, dragon dusting is from a series of mountains called the Sleeping Dragon. And dusting the dragon, or dragon dusting, is actually doing an insane thing, grabbing a long piece of wood and sliding down the mountainside on the piece of wood.
Okay, so it's like, you're sledding on a plank.
So it's kind of like recreation. It's entertainment.
Yes.
You could literally come up with like a whole like town based off of that, like a resort or a lodge, and that's like that's their main attraction. But they have other amenities as well, all dragon themed, of course.
Well, of course.
And there's another one where not too many people do this, where they've actually made some kind of gliding device off of the wing, like based off of the winged dragon, but that hasn't met with such success, I think.
It's like 50-50.
Yeah, you sign a waiver before you get on.
Or while you're there, you can hire escorts, and they will perform the act of dragon dusting upon you.
Yeah, there you go.
So
what do you have?
All right, so I was thinking about
dragon dusting.
One of the things that I kind of was thinking about. I was thinking about the movie Ants. Or no, it wasn't Ants. It was A Bug's Life.
Okay.
Do you remember in A Bug's Life? Come on, guys. You know you watch it. You remember in A Bug's Life when they wanted to scare off the grasshoppers? Well, they created the bird. And then, so I'm thinking, like, first I was thinking about pixies, right? Well, what if pixies created, like, this dragon? And what they would do, the dragon would fly over wherever they wanted, whether it's crops or maybe the town itself, maybe the water, and then they would dust it with pixie dust. Pixie dust is in one of these flipping books somewhere too, right? And I think it does different things. Or you could totally make it up yourself. And basically, as something fun to do, the pixies... one is they're scaring the people with the dragon, which is probably hilarious. They run, they scream, ah! Screaming big folk, hilarious, equals hilarious, hashtag hilarious.
I don't think the pixies are hashtagging.
They are. My pixies hashtag. They're like tweeting shit out. They're like, look at the face on this one. I'm Instagram that shit right now. But not only that, they're technically poisoning the people, drugging them with pixie dust, or a variation of pixie dust. Maybe has a different effect than the pixie dust in. Is it that Storm King's Thunder? Is that where? So. Was it in there, or it could be completely different. You can find different poisons or narcotics, and use those stats. This could be as benevolent or malevolent of an encounter as you want. Maybe someone's rounding them up.
I'd say a mix of the two. So like they're trying to do it to get a reaction. So like some people are going to have beneficial effects, some people will have negative effects, and they just sit back and watch.
But that doesn't define the motivation as being benevolent or benevolent. That what that determines is basically why are they doing it. If they're doing it for fun, then it's probably benevolent. Some of the effects might get out of hand and be a little harmful, but that doesn't mean it was done with malice.
Well, maybe the woodcutters always come back, or the miners always come back with some problems, and maybe they're like delirious or have some kind of issues based on. Then they see a dragon in the woods, but they're like off their rocker with like hallucinating
because they've been dragon dusted. So they're coming back with all these stories, and it is malignant in that sense because they're trying to cause disruption and hurt. To get them away from. So here's the thing, right? You have a couple things going on. One, weird things are happening in town, and there's a dragon sighting. All right, your players are first level. What the F do we do? Dragon sighting. And you make it like an evil dragon.
Or it looks like our red dragon over here?
Or it looks evil, five-headed evil dragon, or basically, it make you want to lead them down the road that this is not a good dragon, right? Make them scared. So like, what do we do? Second is people are acting weird and strange, right? So there's this mystery to solve of what is going on with the people and what's the problem. Is it in the water? Is it in the food? So you set out this like intrigue for them to investigate and solve the problem. And eventually they can find out, maybe they track the dragon back to its lair, and the dragon's lair really isn't a dragon's lair. It's like a grove in the forest, and
the
it's
pixies are like falling over laughing to themselves.
Yeah, and it's full of partying pixies telling stories and stuff like that. So so this could be a whole adventure based around and leading up to the. Most of it is going to be the investigating with the people and figuring out how they got drugged, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was from being dusted by the dragon, or whether it was from consuming something that's been dusted by the dragon, and then following the dragon back to its lair, where they uncover the true villains of this story.
Well, I think at some point in time they need to find the constructed dragon.
Yeah, then they track it back to the lair.
Right.
It's the dragon there. Maybe they witnessed the dragon, taking flight, or
Did they
see.
construct it out of their bodies? Because I thought that's what I was thinking about, all the pixies like hanging together and making this dragon.
That's
or like
humorous.
they grab a piece of bark for like the scales.
No, I was
or
literally
pine cones.
I was literally going with like they built it.
Oh, okay.
Like they did in A Bug's Life.
Right,
I mean, not that your idea wouldn't work as well. It wouldn't be good.
That would be funny though.
And for that, you just made like dragon.
It's got like
Voltron
it's got like a
pixies.
lazy eye. It's really because the pixie always gets distracted and looks the one way.
There?
It's the evil dragon with the lazy eye.
I mean, there are so many ways you could do it. Like you could do it, like you said, you could do illusion magic.
They have Phantasmal Force.
I just kind of like the idea that they constructed it and they're like in there operating it and stuff.
That would be hilarious, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be pixies. It could be gnomes. It could be, you could totally Scooby Doo it, right? What if, and you say you didn't want to be benevolent, you want it to be more benevolent, and you have evil gnomes that have built this construct to try and run off the townsfolk because there's something in town valuable that they want. After you finally get to the end, they pull off the mask, and it turns out it was Mr. Jenkins all along. And he would have got away with it too if it wasn't for your pesky adventures. So that's the other route. But either way, I think you can construct an evening adventure that would be pretty fun and possibly hilarious, especially once you get your players dragon dusted,
Nice.
and then maybe even their characters in the game.
So, what do you guys think? What is dragon dusting to you? Do you like, our ideas? Put your comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Check us out over on nerdarchy.com.
And you can patronize us in a good way over at Patreon.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.